And now it's Renovate and Build. 60 minutes dedicated to building and renovating solutions. Here's your hosts, Jim and Sandra.
Good morning. How are you today? Glad to have you along for the next 60 minutes here on Renovate and Build.
Yes, good morning to you listening in this morning, and good morning to you, Sandra. Today on the show, we'll be talking about the efficiency of dealing with one network of professionals. Think about how important that is and how easy it is just to have one number to call and have your questions and concerns answered, at least construction and maintenance questions. So, one point of contact, whether you need a plumber, a roofer, or an entire home build. A source that you can trust, that you don't have to that actually aren't doing the work, but instead are tendering your project out to a vetted pool of labor who are then signing contracts and monitoring your project throughout. That's what the show is all about, the efficiency of having one point of contact for all professionals that is your advocate through the construction process.
And Jim, that network has to extend to the professionals that you may not always think about, like the green experts, the architects, the realtors, the 3D designers, and of course the list goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. And these days the internet is an incredible tool, but having that human contact and that advocate through the process is just worth. It has no value, right? For example, I use this example recently. I'm a construction guy, and I was trying to find a trailer for my construction company, and I went online. I looked at the websites, and there's all this information there. And I was trying to compare companies and trailers and price points, and it was virtually impossible to try and figure out,
where you should start.
Where I should start. And I'll be honest, I did it for about 10-15 minutes, and what did I do? Give up, because it was just too daunting, or I just wanted somebody I can talk to that was going to give me trusted information, say I need this, what's suitable, and how much is it going to cost me, and where can I get it, right? And I think that's really lacking in the marketplace. Consumers want to get services done, for example construction, and they're just overwhelmed with all the information and just simply don't know where to start. And if they do their own research and take one step into it to embark on a construction process, I think a lot of people have turned back and frightened by what they encounter, or maybe their first contact, or somebody that doesn't show up, or they get somebody that comes to their home that's clearly underqualified. I think that really kind of tarnishes the construction industry.
When the internet was first available to us, and I mean as a majority, it was so interesting because people thought it would make their processes easier.
Right.
But it seems as our lives are getting busier, we're getting more competition, we have more resources, the average client gets lost in the mayhem somehow. And I find that really interesting when you compare that some of the products that we're looking for online, or the services for our homes, our vehicles, all of those expensive things in our lives, are just thrown out there to people that we don't know what their background is, their history, their qualifications, their certifications.
Yeah.
And these are places, for instance, our home, where we spend a lot of our time. I was reading, Jim, that did you know that the average woman spends 90 minutes per day in the bathroom? And I'm not talking about using the bathroom as you would traditionally think. This is for showering, makeup, 24 minutes for hair, 26 minutes for deciding what to wear. Like, this is all done in the bathroom. So when they are saying that's the number one area that I want to spend my money renovating, and they're thinking of tens of thousands of dollars to renovate this space, it's because they really are using that as their sanctuary to get away from the rest of the family. So it's a true investment.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
I think we're getting busier and busier too. Like, maybe traditionally nobody didn't work as much, or the world wasn't as fast paced, where people may take more trips or go away, but now with kids and working 6 days a week, that coming home is the holiday, right? That time where we can get away from, close the door and kind of enjoy our space. And it's our biggest investment. So be home, enjoy it, make it how we want it, and feel comfortable there. And with all modern technology and having a spa tub or aromatherapy, you can actually really make your home truly your sanctuary, more than ever, I believe. So.
And because I know you're looking at me going, well, how much does the average man spend in the bathroom? The average man spends 40 minutes alone in the loo every day. So we need to be able to trust who we can call when we're spending. Remember, we found out on the show a few weeks ago, $65 billion a year on home improvements in our country.
Yeah, it's an unbelievably and ever-growing sector. So, $65 billion, and I believe that's just in renovations and home improvement. That's not commercial construction. That's not new construction. That's just simply in
residential,
residential renovations. And I still believe there's a huge standoff between consumers and the construction industry, because consumers don't know who to trust. Construction industry just want to get in there and make the money. So again, it's create this environment that still exists where construction industry has a bad reputation for good reason. The consumers want to do all this great and unlock their vision of their homes, but it's the environment that exists right now is just not suitable. It just doesn't work. It just needs some restructure, and that's why I started Fair Trade Works, to create a new safe environment where consumers can be helped navigate the construction industry and make all these projects extremely successful and really get return on their investment, enjoy the process, believe it or not, and just, get exactly the product that they envisioned and what they were expected to pay for in the beginning, right?
And just to once again start at the beginning here, for homeowners who are just listening for the very first time, Fair Trade Works does not build. So we're not a construction company. We're a construction services brand doing both residential and commercial construction, but we're an advocate for the client, and that is the difference. So a lot of people listening are always saying, but aren't you just a construction company?
Yeah,
and that's where we really have to
trying
make
to sell
sure.
something, but yeah, you hit that nail on the head again. It's just we are a construction services brand that represents the consumer and helps them navigate the construction industry to ensure that their product is enjoyable and successful.
And in our trades pool alone, we have 400 professionals which are vetted, and that's a very strict process. That's actually part of my department at the office, is making sure that they are all checked, not only for their qualifications and their tickets, but that they have happy homeowner testimonials that are recent, and we interview those people.
Yeah.
We look into even their relationships with their fellow tradesmen and see what they're like on job sites, what their safety records are, their BBB ratings.
Yeah.
We really delve into these trades to ensure that they have a good reputation all the way around.
Yeah, one of my favorite audits on that is how many employees they have had and how long their employees have worked for that company. So many companies have a great website, a great front end, a great glossy name, and you meet a great salesman who knows, but who's actually doing the construction? Who's doing the building? Is it quickly a bunch of people they've pulled together that's only worked for them for 3 months, or they're jumping around companies? Companies that do good product and have good management and run it right always have long-standing employees. People stick with people who get treated right, creates a positive workforce, which creates a positive end product for the consumer, right? So that's really big for me, to find out how long their employees have been around for.
And we love Renovate and Build because this is our opportunity to introduce you to some of the people that we trust. Today, our focus is telling you about that group of professionals and how easy it is when you have just a go-to pool that you can pick from for any of your professional advice.
Exactly. And 1 in 5 Canadian homeowners use sustainable and green renovation and building products or ideas. And to talk to us about the latest in efficient heating through waste is Jens Oram from Climate Smart this hour. I'm looking forward to learning more about this fantastic green solution.
And I'm looking forward to speaking with Meg and Gary, who are going to be discussing in-floor heating solutions. That's on Product Face-Off. But first, let's head over to East Van to talk to Sydney Hook, this week's neighborhood news reporter. Good morning, Sydney. What's up today?
Oh, hi. How are you?
Fantastic. What's it like in East Van? Busy Saturday lined up?
Pretty much so. We're going to just head out, walk up to the local stores and get our groceries done, and maybe have a chance to stop for coffee on the way.
Sounds fantastic, Sydney. What's happening in construction and development in the East Side right now?
Well, there's a lot of different little neighborhoods with all their own character and different developments going on the East Side. So, you can look around and you'd see, I think, a lot of home renovations. There's little pockets of character homes that people are renovating, and there's also, I think, a lot of new construction, custom-built homes going up around too.
And Sydney, what do you find right now with the homes that are going up? Are you facing the same problem as a lot of the other communities where the older homes are getting knocked down for newer construction?
I think that when I look around our neighborhoods, I find that a lot of people are actually just either building on or using a lot of the existing footprint and adding additions to their places. It seems to be a real sense of keeping some older homes in place here.
Nice, so you don't have the same controversy as a lot of the other areas.
Yeah. Well, that happens. I mean, there's certainly a mixture. There's certainly some developments I've noticed going up that are condominium developments or small units built as well. So there's a real mixture. I think the area we're in is a single-family zoning, so that might shape how things go here. There's a lot of things going on, but mostly I see a lot of people adding on to their existing properties.
It is one of those things, isn't it? I know you've gone through a large renovation, people trying to rework the space just so that they can make their environment more their own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of young families in our neighborhood. Certainly we've been here about 18 years and have made the decision to renovate to stay here, and I see that going on around us quite a bit. You can see it happening all around us, so that's kind of exciting to see too.
Yeah, I think in your neighborhood, Sydney, it makes sense financially to, some of the larger homes, larger square footages on the smaller lots, and put money into a renovation, because, knocking the house down and building a new home, that returning investment is not as aggressive as it is in the west side of Vancouver, where people can make really big upsides. The east side is not as active, so renovating the existing space, upgrading, adding some square footage, adding a floor is certainly the smart thing to do as far as spending your money correctly on east side of Vancouver property development.
Absolutely, yeah. And as I said, it's a lot of young families, and they're finding the way to make space for their kids and themselves to make it livable.
Anything else newsworthy talk on the street there?
No, the talk I see on the street that I think people are just sort of wondering what's going to be happening with sort of the major arteries that come through the area. There's a lot of talk. I'm sure you've heard, like, at Broadway and commercial. Would there be commercial zoning through there? That's kind of what people are focused on here. What will be happening around major arteries? Are we going for high rises? Are we going for low-rise buildings?
Yeah, the east side of Vancouver is certainly going to change over the next 10 years. Obviously, we're kind of landlocked and gridlocked in the west side. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the east side of Vancouver. So thank you, Sydney. We really appreciate your time. We've been speaking with Sydney Hook in East Vancouver. If you'd like to contribute to our weekly feature that focuses on construction and development in various communities around the province, please email us at radio@fairtradeworks.biz.
Well, the thermometer's already starting to chill at night. I can't believe it. How would it be if you had heated floors, though? Well, there's some great new alternatives on the market right now, and to tell us all about them, we're going to be joined by Meg and Gary this hour, part of our Fair Trade Works team. That's on Product Face-Off.
But just ahead, we'll be heading to our inbox to answer your construction questions, so please stay with us.
There's still lots more ahead. This is Renovate and Build, powered by Fair Trade Works with Jim and Sandra.